Hello, this is Mateo. I'm the Youth Program Coordinator at Rainbow Resource Center. And today we're going to talk about how to cope during a global pandemic. So thanks for joining me. And we're going to get started. So today we will be covering different aspects of health, such as physical health, mental health, and emotional health. Okay, so let's get started with physical health. So physical health, let's talk about exercise a little bit. So exercise can sometimes make you think of activities like running, jogging, push-ups, lifting weights. And those activities work for some people, but not for everyone. So everybody's body is different. Um, Exercise can be fun and doesn't only include activities that make you break a sweat. So instead of focusing on high endurance activities like the ones I just mentioned, try and focus on what feels good for you and your body. So and focus on what you're able to do because everybody's body is different. Um, so we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits of moving your body. So that's what it says right here. So let's get started with the first point on this slide. So exercise has been shown to improve your mood and decrease feelings of depression, anxiety, and stress. It produces changes in the parts of the brain that regulate stress and anxiety. It can also increase brain sensitivity for the hormones serotonin and norepinephrine, which relieve feelings of depression. Exercise can increase the production of endorphins, which are known to help produce positive feelings and reduce the perception of pain. Exercise can help you be more aware of your mental state and practice distraction from fears. So sometimes just the distraction alone can be really beneficial. So if you're feeling really high anxiety, like you're feeling like you really need to move your body, sometimes it would be helpful to like go for a walk, or just get out of that space you're in physically. Um, so yeah, that's like another huge benefit of exercise. The last point here on this slide is it doesn't matter how intense your workout is, your mood can benefit from exercise no matter the intensity of the physical activity. So there is research that does prove that point. So again, focus on what you're able to do physically, emotionally, and mentally, because sometimes we don't need to really exert ourselves in order to feel good about ourselves. So let's move on and talk about physical health from and the benefits of being outdoors. So let's get started with the first point. So if it's safe for you to do so, spend some time outside. And again, that's if you can, and if you're able to. You should still avoid busy areas or groups and stay at least 6 feet away from others. But there's no reason to avoid walks. If you do enjoy running, go for a run or other safe outdoor activities. Something I do want to point out is that make sure to check the status of your local parks or trails and respect the closures, because they are there to help keep us safe and keep distance from people. So I know the parks near my home are currently closed. So my family has been going on a lot of walks instead of going to the park. So another benefit of being outside is it helps improve your mood. So research has found that nature simply makes us happy. Anxiety, depression, and anger are notably decreased after spending some time outdoors. Um, Also, I want to point out if you're not someone who does want to go outside, or you're unable to do that for whatever reason, there's so many reasons why that could be the case. Um, there is research that does indicate that even just looking at pictures of nature, listening to sounds of nature, can also help decrease your anxiety. Um, when I do my house chores or whatever I'm doing, if I'm doing work at home, I do enjoy listening to sounds of like the forest or birds chirping. I find it very relaxing. So keep that in mind. It's up to you how you want to de-stress. I just want to speak to the last point on this slide. So sunlight is already good for your immune system, but the outdoors seems to help in other ways. So many plants put substances, including organic compounds called, I don't know how to pronounce this, so bear with me here, phytonicides into the air that seem to boost immune function. That's pretty cool. So sunlight also seems to energize special cells in your immune system called T cells, and that help fight infections. So those are some benefits of going outside. And again, really listen to your body and what your body needs. So if it's unsafe for you to go outside for whatever reason, consider just staying indoors. So we're going to talk a little bit about sleep. And so some of the things I'm going to share with you may be helpful, they may not be helpful. So just kind of take what is helpful and don't use what isn't helpful. Um, so poor sleep can make even simple problems feel a lot worse than they really are. Lack of sleep can affect your mood, your outlook, and your patience. So if you're having a hard time sleeping, here are some helpful tips to help promote some healthy sleeping habits. So the first point on the slide is set a sleep schedule. So sometimes going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time, that alone can be really beneficial. Creating regular bedtime rituals. So do the same thing every night before bedtime. Your pre-sleep activity should be relaxing so your body knows when it's time to go to sleep. So like do maybe a low activity, like I'm thinking of maybe reading in bed if that's something you like to do. Maybe listening to a podcast, something that isn't gonna increase your anxiety. So if you're gonna be listening to a podcast, maybe keep it to something really simple. You don't want to maybe listen to something that's gonna really kind of make you feel activated in terms of anxiety levels. So the next bit is caffeine and nicotine. So those two things are stimulants that interfere with sleep. So regular users may experience withdrawal symptoms at night, leading to restless sleep. If you're looking to limit caffeine intake, consider consuming less than 2 servings per day and don't drink after noon. However, I do know that a lot of people do depend on caffeine. So if that's not something you're able to do, that's okay. It's just something to consider. Tobacco users who break the habit are usually able to fall asleep faster and sleep better once withdrawal symptoms subside. So keep that in mind that if you are in a place where you're trying to stop smoking, you may notice it may be a little harder to go to sleep at night. Um, so again, just something to consider. If possible, use your bedroom for sleep only. And I know that's not always possible. So make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool. If you use it only for sleep, you'll associate it, like your bedroom, your sleeping area, with sleep rather than other activities or stress. So like if you do your homework in your bedroom, I know a lot of us do. I bring my work laptop into my bedroom sometimes to do work. And sometimes what happens is our brains just start to associate that with the work we're doing or whatever you're doing in your bedroom instead of sleep. But again, I know that's also not always possible for people. So we're going to move forward and talk about mental health a bit. So the COVID-19 pandemic has been stressful for everybody. Fear and anxiety about a new virus and what could happen can be overwhelming and cause strong emotions. Public health actions such as physically distancing can make people feel isolated, lonely, and it can increase stress and anxiety. However, these actions are necessary to reduce the spread of COVID-19. But coping with stress in a healthy way will make you, the people you care about, and your community stronger. So let's move forward to the next slide. So let's talk a little bit about a routine. So again, this may be helpful for you, it may not be. So take whatever is helpful and lose whatever may not be helpful for you. So while some people just like having a predictable schedule, others like to have a daily routine. Everyone's routine will look different. A routine should offer you time to do things you enjoy. A structured day can offer you a peace of mind and less stress. So think about what you need out of your day. Do you need time to do schoolwork? Do you want to set a time to connect with friends? Do you want to make time to start a hobby? So a routine should really help you get those things done that you need to get done out of your day, but also allow you time to do those things that you really like to do. So it should meet your needs and also kind of meet your desires to do what makes you feel good. Um, so I'm going to talk a little bit, still a little bit about social connection, why it's so important. So this may just feel like common sense. So social connection improves physical health and mental health. A deep sense of love and belonging is irresistible need for people. So we are wired to love, to be loved, and to belong. Social connection has little to do with how many friends you have. It's more about the meaningful connections you do make. So you can have like 20 friends or more, but if you don't feel that strong connection that maybe reconsider, maybe it's good to have like 2 to 3 friends that you really connect with, that you feel support and validated. So it's not about quantity, more about quality. Globally, the world has been keeping physically apart, so we are no longer connecting in ways we used to. Connecting has become more intentional, which can also feel strange. So, if you used to be in school, like physically instead of virtually, and you kind of realize, hey, I'm not really connecting with Bobby because we don't bump into each other in the hallway anymore or in the cafeteria. That can feel really weird, and so even weirder trying to connect. Without having like depending on just casually bumping into people. So a lot of people are feeling that. So you're not alone if you are feeling that, and if you're not, that's okay. But think about how have you been connecting with friends and family. Um, so there's a lot of different ways to connect with people. So on the next slide, we're going to watch a video together that kind of offers different ways of how people can connect. So it's a fun video, so I'm gonna hit play.
Hey friends! So there is a good chance that by now you're in a bit of a self-isolation situation. Physical distancing is the new norm, which means you probably can't see your friends or your family as often as you'd like to. But there are a ton of ways to keep in touch without actually keeping in touch. In fact, you can still see all of your favorite people from the comfort of your own couch. Let's see, we've got Skype, FaceTime, Marco Polo, House Party. Now the last one is a bit like FaceTime, but just a lot more fun. In House Party, you can chat with up to 8 people at one time, and you can go head to head in a few classic games like Trivia, Heads Up, and Quick Draw. Next, it pays to remember that we should never, ever, ever give up on fun, even during a pandemic. Now, thanks to Netflix, we can isolate and chill as a group. The Netflix Party feature lets you pick a TV series or a movie that you can watch together. And there's even a tiny little chat box on the side for that one friend who can never follow the plot. If you're just after a laugh during a lock-in, then the internet has your back because social media and social distancing equals the golden age of memes. First step, set up a WhatsApp thread with your friends and name it Quarantine Memes. Second step, share the best lols you can find. For my next trick, how to turn self-isolation into self-improvement. Pick your most productive power and agree to use all your spare time to upskill. You can make tiramisu, learn a new language, or write and record a Corona-themed diss track that will definitely take over the world. While sport is Corona cancelled and gyms are shut, you can still keep your body tight and your mind right. There are loads of free workouts online, so why not do a YouTube yoga session with your bestie or challenge them to a high-intensity indoor sweat session. All right, stop. Time for a pandemic playlist. So find a friend with really amazing music taste and start a Quarantunes playlist. Trade tracks or have a digital dance party. Finally, pick a pen pal and go old school. Hear me out. You could create a shared Google Doc and name it the Lockdown Diaries, and then pinky swear to make an entry every day. This is a confusing time for everyone, but it's never been more obvious that we're better together. Talk to your friends and family, call the people you can't see, and if you need a little bit of extra support, don't be afraid to reach out and seek help. Oh, also, wash your hands.
I really like that video, so thank you so much for watching it with me. I found it really helpful. I could not have come up with all these ideas on my own, so I'm glad the video exists. So we're going to talk about emotional health now. Okay, great. So if you can name your emotions or our emotions, we can then start to manage what we're feeling. So emotional health doesn't mean you're always happy or free from negative emotions. Nobody is. It's about having the skills and resources to manage the ups and downs of day-to-day life. So having good emotional health is an important aspect of encouraging resilience, self-awareness, and overall happiness. So just remember that you're not your emotions. Our emotions are essentially like the visual here on the left. It's just like a way to kind of gauge where we're at and what we do need. So emotional health in action. So like what can we do to develop a sense of emotional well-being? So Let's start with noticing upsetting emotions when they arise. So, this helps you to name your feelings and process them in healthier ways. So, for example, you might choose to compassionately confront someone who hurt or angered you rather than lashing out at them. Or maybe you decide to set some healthy boundaries at work or school with loved ones. So, sometimes we can be really reactionary. So, that kind of means that we just react instead of really thinking about what we're feeling. So sometimes just kind of pause it, and this is something you'll have to really do it several times before you kind of get the hang of it. So really kind of just like stopping and just kind of checking in with yourself. So something else you can do is catching your own self judgments. I think we're all really guilty of self judgments and being really hard on ourselves. So this means turning that critical inner voice into an opportunity for self love and compassion, which is easier said than done. So, for example, when you find yourself engaging in negative self talk, you might ask, if my child, partner, or best friend were talking to me this way, how would I respond? What makes it challenging for me to treat myself the same way I treat others? Um, yeah, it's so easy to be hard on yourself. Um, Another one is having curiosity about your emotions. So, emotional health flourishes when you're curious about your thoughts, your behaviors, and feelings, and why they might arise at certain times. By doing that, you may find some patterns. You may learn a lot about yourself. So it's important to be able to ask yourself, why did I react that way? Like, what is it about my past that might lead me to have a strong reaction about X, Y, and Z? Kind of really investigating why are you feeling that way, and that'll definitely help you feel more in control of your own reactions and your feelings. We're going to watch another short video. It's just under 4 minutes, I believe, or maybe just 4 minutes. So let's take a quick look. The video's not playing. Okay, here it is.
7 signs you're emotionally healthy. Emotional health is complex and multifaceted. Unlike your IQ score, which is fairly stable, anyone can become more emotionally healthy. Therefore, we're not trying to cast a negative light on emotionally unhealthy people. Almost everyone's emotional health is a constant work in progress. Instead, we're hoping to incite self-reflection and higher awareness about your personal struggles with emotional health. How emotionally healthy would you deem yourself? Be critical and honest with yourself as you watch this video. Just don't beat yourself up over it. 1. You're in touch with emotions. If you can't identify your own emotions, then you won't be able to identify how to manage them. Know how you feel. Name it. Acknowledge it without becoming overwhelmed. That way, if you were to get upset with your partner, you'd be able to verbalize your feelings to your partner appropriately. 2. You rebound from failure. Failure is an unavoidable part of life. It makes our goals seem out of reach, and our negative self-talk goes off the hook. Emotionally healthy people ignore the "you can't do it" gut reaction and stop the negative self-talk. Instead, they look at what they're in control of, reevaluate the situation, and put in more effort. This helps them to plan better and try different approaches in the future. 3. You believe there's a reason for everything. The most emotionally healthy people draw meaning from the traumatic events that occur in their lives. In other words, while they're grieving, they're also simultaneously adapting and searching for ways to recognize not only what they lost, but also what they can gain. 4. You like yourself. Learn to like yourself even in the worst moments. Avoid the self-criticism and negative thoughts. Stop kicking yourself when you're already down. Exercise self-compassion. What would you say to a friend that was dealing with whatever issue you're facing? Be encouraging and supportive and feel good about who you are. Learn to see yourself through the eyes of the people who truly love you. 5. You see the big picture. Realize that every action has a reaction as well as consequences. Taking time to pause and consider how your actions are going to affect you in the present and future is a telling sign of emotional health. 6. You're resilient. Develop a realistic plan or strategy that will carry you through the inevitable hard times. Also, develop the right kind of self-talk, the kind that allows you to maintain a positive view of yourself. Have confidence in your inner strength and abilities. 7. You're a skilled communicator. Learn to communicate clearly, but also listen with the intent to hear and see the other side. Don't simply rehearse what you're going to say while the other person's speaking. When disagreements arise, focus on problem solving rather than fault finding. If things don't go your way, be thoughtful when expressing your feelings. Don't pout or throw a tantrum while expecting the other person to figure it out. Emotionally healthy people form solid connections with family members and friends. During hard times, accept help and support from your loved ones and listen with the intent to genuinely understand the other side. Have a willingness to learn and grow through each experience in your life. Look for opportunities for self-discovery and maintain an optimistic outlook. Remember, the most important thing you can do for your emotional health is show yourself some compassion. Tenderly nurture your feelings and needs. Make time to engage in activities that you find relaxing. Exercise on a regular basis. When you're physically and emotionally strong, the world becomes smaller and conquerable. You're going to be happy, said life. But first, I'll make you strong. What are some of your strategies for coping with life's hardships? Care to share? Please do so in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to see more content from Psych2Go. Thanks for watching.
Okay, thanks for watching that video with me. I do enjoy the video, but I also just want to speak to something they did mention in the video, which is being optimistic all the time. I don't think that's super realistic. I think you could still have that emotional maturity without um, that constant optimism, because nobody does that. I think it's impossible to be constantly optimistic. I'm a fairly optimistic person, but it's almost it's unrealistic to expect to be optimistic all the time. We have to experience all our emotions, even the ones that we think are negative. But again, emotions are just kind of a gauge to give us an idea of where we're at and what we need. Um, so I really just wanted to share that. So we've kind of like getting to the end of the PowerPoints. Thank you so much for watching this with me, or watching me present this to you. So just some final thoughts I want to share. And everyone everywhere is being impacted by COVID-19, whether you have the virus or don't have the virus, or whether your family is impacted or not. I think everyone is just in a very weird place right now. So with that said, things may be feeling extra hard for you and for the people in your life. So whatever you may be feeling or experiencing, know that it's absolutely normal. So do your best at reaching out when you're feeling you need to talk, or if you just want to laugh, or when you may just simply need a distraction. If you need to be alone, that's okay too. We're all individuals and we each have unique needs. Um, I'm going to share some resources with you. I'm just going to move myself over here. So these are resources for crisis support. And what that means is like immediate help. So if you're feeling like really down and you don't have anyone to talk to, like everyone's kind of busy, or you're feeling kind of stuck in a way where you just don't feel like you can share some heavy thoughts with some people in your life, these are some resources you may want to consider reaching out to. So Clinic Crisis Line is available. They're 24/7, and I believe most of these are. There's a sexual assault crisis line. There's Manitoba Suicide Prevention and Support Line. There's Kids Help Phone, Trans Lifeline, Youth Mobile Crisis, and the Crisis Response Center. Be mindful that the Crisis Response Center are for people who are 18 plus. And you're always, I encourage you to, if you need to chat, you please reach out to Joey or myself. We are available. Check out our Instagram. We do receive a lot of messages from folks when they do need to reach out. So it's not out of the norm if you decide to kind of connect with us. Here are some references. I will have all this information below, where we do have the information for the video. So I just want to thank you for watching. I hope you did get something out of this presentation. So thanks again. And I'm Mateo, Youth Program Coordinator at Rainbow Resource Center, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.